Hello students, last time we have explained about the life cycle of Jawar stem borer and red cotton bug. Today we are going to explain the life cycle of Brinjal fruit borer. Brinjal fruit borer belongs to phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Lepidoptera, family Pyralidae, genus Lysinodis, and the species Urbanales. It is commonly called as brinjal shoot and fruit borer. So it can bore the shoot as well as the fruit of the brinjal plant. The host plants. Brinjal is the main host plant, and other solanaceous plants such as pea are the alternative host plants. Lysinodis urbalis is the most important and destructive pest of the brinjal, and it has countrywide distribution. Then we'll explain regarding its identification marks. The moths of the brinjal fruit borer are medium-sized insects, measures about 20 millimeter across the spread wings, or when wings are expanded, it measures up to 20 millimeter in a width. The head and thorax are blackish brown in color. The wings are white and provided with small hairs along the apical and anal margins, and a number of black, pale, and light brown spots are found on the forewings and hind wings of the moth. The caterpillars are pale white and about 12 millimeter long when fully grown. So this is about the identification marks of the adult moth of the brinjal fruit borer. So these are the medium sized insects and measures up to 20 millimeter across the spread wings, or the width when wing expands measures up to 20 millimeter. The head and thorax are blackish brown in color. The wings are white in color and provided with small hairs along the apical and the anal margins, and number of black, pale, and light brown spots are found on the both pair of wings, that is forewings and hind wings of the adults. The caterpillars are pale white in color and measures up to 12 millimeter in a length when are fully grown. This is the figure representing the life history or life cycle of brinjal fruit borer Lysinodis urbalis. In a first diagram, we can see the schematic representation of the life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer, where it shows the adult moth on the top side, which lives for 2 to 3 days. So, in case of adult moths, the female moths lays eggs on the surface of the brinjal plant or the leaves of the brinjal plant, and undergoes the embryonic development for about 3 to 5 days, and then hatch out into a larva called as caterpillar. So on hatching, the caterpillar larvae will start their feeding onto the brinjal shoots, that is the tip of the branch or the leaves or even the midribs, and then it prepares burrow or a hole and then penetrates inside. So the larval development uh, undergoes about 5 moltings and passes through 6 instars, including the first newly hatched larva. So there are 5 instars and there are 5 moltings taking place during the larval development within the period of 7 to 15 days. So within the period of 7 to 15 days, the larva undergoes 5 moltings and passes through total 6 stages or the instars, and then undergoes the next phase of life cycle, that is pupation. So when it attains the maximum length up to 1.6 millimeter or 1.6 centimeter, it becomes pinkish in color and represents the fully grown mature larva, which then undergoes next phase of life cycle, that is pupation. So the duration or the time of the pupation is about 7 to 10 days, and after 7 to 10 days of the pupation, the the larva get transformed into the adult stage, and which will emerge out by breaking open the a cocoon, which is secreted by the larva itself at the stage of last instar. So in first figure we can see there is a diagrammatic representation of the life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer, and the entire life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer is completed within 6 to 7 weeks. Means total duration for the completion of life cycle is 6 to 7 weeks. Then in a next figure we can see there are adult moth, the female moths which are laying eggs. So the adult moth, which represents the uh, uh, its morphology, representing the head, thorax, abdomen, two pairs of wings, three pairs of legs uh, as a morphological features. Then female moth laying eggs, uh, about 250 number of eggs, 250 number of eggs are laid by the single female, and which remain uh, attached with the surface of the leaves of the brinjal plant. Then on the embryonic development of about 3 to 5 days, the eggs hatch into a larva called as caterpillar, which is having mandibulate type of mouth parts and pale white in color in the initial phase of development. But as it undergoes moltings, there are 5 moltings, and after its complete development, the color of the larva is transformed from pale white to the pink color. So the larva, which penetrates in the initial phase of its development or immediately after hatching, the larva feeds onto the tip of the branches, and this can lead to the drooping or falling down of the branches due to the feeding of the larva onto the tender shoots. Then after uh, its feeding on the tender shoots, then it penetrates in the brinjal fruits and burrows uh, through a gallery or the tunnel through a zigzag manner, and feeding onto the uh, internal tissue material of the brinjal fruit. So this represents the life cycle. So the larva then transform into a pupation. So pupa is again the dormant phase of life cycle, and uh, the larva get transformed into the adult insect form with a head, thorax, abdomen. So these are the figures representing diagrammatic representation of the life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer, Lysinodis urbonalis. So we'll again explain the life cycle of the Lysinodis urbonalis or the brinjal fruit borer in a detail. So the life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer also starts with the laying of the eggs by the female moth of the brinjal fruit borer. So the female moth on or after fertilization or mating lays elongated eggs singly or in a small batches on the surface of uh, leaves of the brinjal plant or shoots and the fruits of the brinjal plant. They hatch into 3 to 5 days. So there are 3 to 5 days required for the complete embryonic development of the egg, which will then transform into a larva called as caterpillar. So after 5 days period of the incubation, the larva hatch out or caterpillar larva emerge out from the egg. On hatching, the caterpillar starts boring into the shoot, lip, midrib, petiole and the fruits and feeds on the internal tissues. So in the initial phase of its development or on hatching, it feeds on to the different parts of the brinjal plant, that is shoot, leaf, midrib, petiole and the fruits and feeding on the internal tissues. The larva undergoes 5 moltings within a period of 10 to 15 days. So the larva getting transformed as the larva feeds and grows, it is getting transformed into one stage to next stage or one instar to next instar. So there are such 5 moltings taking place during the larval development, and this requires the period of about 10 to 15 days. So within 10 to 15 days, larva undergoes 5 moltings and getting transformed into a mature larva called as the fifth instar larva, which is very much stout, pink in color and measures about 1.6 centimeter in length. Then pupation takes place in a cocoon on the plant and lasts for 6 to 8 days. So after the complete transformation of the larva into a pink color, or when it attains maximum growth or length up to 1.6 centimeter, it is transformed into the next phase of life cycle, that is a pupa. So the larva itself secretes or the spins cocoon around its body and then undergoes several transformation in a larva and get transformed into the adult insect form called as pupation, and this takes about 6 to 8 days to emerge out the adult moth. Moth lives for 2 to 5 days. So moth can survive, adult moth can survive 2 to 5 days only, and the female lays up to 250 number of eggs during her reproductive life. So the moths, when emerge out from the pupa, they live for only 2 to 5 days. So within this period of 2 to 5 days, it undergoes the breeding, that is mating with the female, adult female, and thus facilitating the process of sexual reproduction, and after which the female moth lays about 250 number of eggs singly or in a small batches on the surface of brinjal plant or onto the fruits or shoots or the branches or the midribs or even on the fruits of the brinjal plant. The larva is parasitized by Pristomerus testaceus and Cremasteus flavoarbotalis and also the Bracon species. So these are the number of insects such as wasp belonging to order Hymenoptera, which are the parasites of the larva or the caterpillars of the brinjal fruit borer. So the caterpillar larvae are parasitized or consumed or fed by the 3 different type of insects, which are the natural enemies of the larva of the brinjal fruit borer. So the larva is parasitized or devoured by the Pristomerus testaceus, then Cremasteus flavoarbotalis, and the Bracon species of the wasp-like insects. So this is about the life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer. Then regarding nature of damage, the larval stage is only destructive stage or causing damage and loss of the brinjal crop. So the larval stage is only the destructive or harmful to the brinjal crop, and in the early stages the larvae bore into tender shoots. As a result, the infested shoots droop down or fall down and ultimately dry up. The larvae also bore into the flower buds and developing fruits under the calyx, leaving no visible sign of infestation. The attacked fruits shows holes on them plugged with excreta, and in case of severe infestation in the initial stages there may be no fruiting at all. The pinkish larvae making zigzag tunnels or burrows in the fruits, and the fruits are holed. Such infested fruits are rendered or became totally unfit for the human consumption, and up to 70% loss of the brinjal crop is caused by this pest. So this is about the nature of damage. So in case of brinjal fruit borer, the caterpillar larva is only the destructive stage of the life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer or the moth, and which is destructive or harmful. So in early stages, the larvae bore into tender shoot. The larvae immediately after hatching, the larvae bores into the tender shoots. As a result, the infested shoots droop down or falls down and ultimately get dried. The larvae also bore into the flower buds and the developing fruits under the calyx and will thus uh, leaving no visible sign of the infestation or attack. The attacked fruits shows holes, and these holes are again plugged with the excreta, and in case of severe infestation in the initial stages there may be no fruiting at all to the brinjal plant. The pinkish larvae make zigzag tunnels or burrows in the fruits, and fruits are holed. Such infested fruits are rendered or made totally unfit for the human consumption, and due to the attack or the severe infestation of the brinjal fruit borer, up to 70% loss of the crop is caused due to the attack or infestation of the brinjal fruit borer. Then control measures. So the affected fruits and drooping shoots or the branches. The affected fruits and drooping shoots or branches containing these caterpillars inside should be clipped off or cut off and destroyed or removed from the brinjal field. The crop should be sprayed with a suspension or emulsion of any of the following insecticides. So there are four different insecticides which can be used for the destruction or the killing of the pest or the brinjal fruit borer from the crop of the brinjal. So the affected fruits and the drooping shoots. The affected fruits and drooping shoots containing larvae inside or the caterpillars inside should be cut off or clipped off and destroyed or removed from the brinjal field. The crop should be sprayed with the suspension or the emulsion of any of the following insecticides such as carbaryl, commonly called as Sevin, which is 50% wettable powder, and 0.2%, that is 4 gram per liter of water. So this is the concentration of the carbaryl so as to prepare the 0.2% suspension. So carbaryl is a powder or it is a wettable powder. So when we will mix the powders in the water, that will form a suspension. When the powder pesticides are mixed or dissolved into the water, the solution prepared is called as a suspension. So carbaryl or a Sevin 50% wettable powder with a 0.2%. So 0.2% carbaryl suspension can be sprayed onto the brinjal crop when uh, the infestation or the attack of the pest is noticed. So the quantity of the carbaryl is a 4 gram per liter of the water. Then malathion 50 effective concentration and it is used 0.1%. So as to make 0.1% emulsion, so as to make 0.1% emulsion, 2 ml of malathion mixed or dissolved with a 1 liter of water. So carbaryl malathion, then endosulfan or thiodon 35 effective concentration and it is used 0.1%. So 0.1% endosulfan with a 35 effective concentration is also made into a emulsion, that is 3 ml of the endosulfan dissolved or mixed with a 1 liter of water. And fourth one, that is phosalone or a zolone, which is also of 35 effective concentration and 0.75% of the phosalone or the zolone emulsion is prepared by using 2.1 ml of the phosalone per liter of water. So these are the four different type of insecticides which are used either in the form of suspension or the emulsion and are sprayed onto the brinjal crop whenever there is a infestation or the attack of the brinjal fruit borer is found or noticed. Then the biological agents like braconid wasp, the biological agents like braconid wasp, namely Brochis chinensis and Serrakia shonobi, and Eucnemonide wasp, that is Trathela flavorbatalis, parasitize the larvae of this pest. So these are the two type of wasp, that is the braconid wasp and Eucnemonide wasp. Braconid wasp and Eucnemonide wasp can be used as a larval parasites in the field, which can also help to reduce the pest population in the brinjal crop. So this is about the life cycle of the brinjal fruit borer. Then next one, that is mango stem borer. Next crop pest, fourth crop pest, mango stem borer. So this is also belonging to phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Coleoptera, family Cerambicidae, genus Batocera and species Rubus. So Batocera rubus is the zoological or biological name of the mango stem borer belonging to order Coleoptera and family Cerambicidae. So it is a beetle. It is a beetle category of the insect. We know the mango, the king of the fruits in India, suffer from many serious pests or attack of many serious pests. Among them, mango stem borer is the most important. So among the various pests of the mango crop or mango plant, the mango stem borer is most important. It is very common in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh. It is very common in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh. The host plants of the mango stem borer are the mango, fig, rubber and the jack. So these are the four different type of plants which can get infested by mango stem borer. Then regarding the identification marks of the mango stem borer, the adult beetles of the mango stem borer are well built, large sized, measures about 5 centimeter in length and brownish yellow or grey in color. It has orange yellow spots on the thorax. It has orange yellow spots on the thorax and has hard forewings called as elytra. The lateral spines on the prothorax and long antennae and legs. So these are the uh, uh, distinguishing features or the characters or the morphological characters of the mango stem borer. That is, it represents the lateral spines on the prothorax, and the antennae are very much long, up to having a length of about a body. So there are a pair of antennae which are very long, and the length of the antennae is like antennae of the cockroach, and that are having the length up to a body length. So it is having two lateral spines, conical or spiny outgrowths along the anterior end of the prothorax or the first thoracic segment, and a pair of long antennae and three pair of legs. The grubs or a larva, the larva of the beetles or the mango stem borer is called as a grub, which is a apodous larva without appendage, and thus is called as a grub. So the grubs are large in size, yellowish white or cream white in color, fleshy in appearance, and measures about 10 centimeter by 2 centimeter or 100 millimeter by 18 millimeter size. So the grub of the mango stem borer are very much large in a size, yellowish white or cream white in color, and having fleshy appearance, and measures about 10 centimeter in length and 2 centimeter in a diameter or a width, with a dark brown or the black head and bearing the strong mandibles as a mouth parts. So this is the diagram representing the schematic representation of the life cycle of the mango stem borer, that is Batocera rubus. So the adult beetle, which lives for 2 to 3 days. So the life cycle, so the lifespan of the adult beetle is only of 2 to 3 days. So the female beetle of the mango stem borer lays single egg. It lays female beetle of the mango stem borer lays single egg in a loose bark or a gap or crack on the stem or a root or the branch of the mango tree, and within a period of 14 to 70 days within a period of 14 to 17 days, it undergoes embryonic development and hatch out a larva called as a grub. So this larva, on its emergence, when the larva comes out or grub emerge out from the egg cell, it penetrates the mango branch or the shoot or stem or the root where the egg is deposited. So it will undergo embryonic development and will hatch out into a larva or the grub that will then penetrates either in a branch of the mango tree or shoot or the root, and thus penetrates inside and moves through a circular path just inside of the bark of the mango shoot or the stem, and then it penetrates to the central portion of the shoot. So the larval lifespan is about 6 months. So larva remains inside the stem of the mango plant for about 3 to 6 months. So maximum of the 6 months duration, the larva lives inside the stem and feeding continuously onto the uh, internal tissues of the mango stem, and leaving behind the frass or a exude or a gummy secretions which will ooze out from uh, the point of entrance. So the larva penetrates through a particular point or a burrow. So opening of the burrow through which the gummy exude or exudate emerge out together with a frass that is a waste material of the stem tissues that could released out through the burrows. Then larva, after the period of 6 months, undergoes the pupation. So pupal stage is also taking place, or the pupation taking place inside the mango shoot or the stem, and get transformed into the adult beetle after about a period of again 3 to 6 months. Means total span or the time or the duration uh, taken for the completion of life cycle is about 1 year, or it may extend up to 2 years. So on the unfavorable conditions of the surrounding, the life cycle duration of the life cycle may extend up to 2 years. And usually the adult females laying eggs, usually the adult females of the mango stem borer lays single egg onto the mango plant in a crack or crevice underside of the bark or in a loose bark, usually during the monsoon month or the rainy season, or just after the seeds of the summer. So on the onset or at the time of beginning of the monsoon or the rainy season, the adult uh, beetles or the mango stem borer female lays eggs during the uh, early time or early monsoon, and uh, the adult which hatch emerge out again in a next year, again in the beginning of the rainy season, that is May or June. In the month of May or June, this is the period of laying as well as a period of emergence of the adult. So in the beginning of the rainy season, we can see this adult beetle mango stem borer uh, representing a sign or indicating the sign of the onset of the monsoon or the rainy season. So mango stem borer can appear only in the uh, beginning of the monsoon month or the rainy season, and the throughout the year the larva and the pupa remain inside the trunk or the stem of the mango tree. Then next figure we can see this is a diagram of the Batocera species, and having gray color with a long antenna, then head, thorax and abdomen, with a entire abdomen is covered with a uh, first pair of wing or the four pair of wing called as elytra. Then it also shows the lateral spines onto the thoracic region. In third figure, we can see the larva, which is much thick and broader at one end, and it narrows towards the posterior end and representing about 20 body segments, and anteriorly the head is dark brown in color or black in color, together with having strong mandibles to the anterior end of the larva or the grub. And on other side, there is a adult uh, beetle of the mango stem borer with a head, thorax, abdomen, and having elongated body and representing the longitudinal lines onto the elytra with a gray color, and also showing a pair of antennae which are much longer in a length, and with three pairs of legs of the adult beetle. So these are the figures showing mango stem borer and the diagrammatic representation of the life cycle of the mango stem borer. Then we'll repeat the explanation regarding the life cycle. So the female beetle of the mango stem borer lays single egg under the loose bark or in a diseased part of the trunk or stem or in the crevices of the stems. After the incubation period of 14 to 17 days, the eggs hatches out into a larva called as grub. The grubs on hatching penetrate into the stem or even the roots, feeding on the woody tissue or material and make tunnels, or it prepares burrow and passes inward. The larval stage lasts for 3 to 6 months, then they pupate in the stem and remain in the pupal stage for about next 3 to 6 months over winter, and adults generally emerge during the monsoon. Adults generally come out of the stem of the mango during the monsoon, and during the duration of the life cycle may extend from 1 to 2 years. So larval span is of about 6 months and pupation span is also of 6 months. So total 1 year time or the duration is required for the transformation of the larva to the adult. So entire life cycle of the mango stem borer is completed on the mango tree. So after the end of or after the end of summer month or at the beginning of monsoon, the adult beetles of the mango stem borer become visible because they emerge out during that time. So during early monsoon, the adult beetles of the mango stem borer emerge come out of the mango shoot or the stem after completing its pupation stage. And immediately after its emergence, because it lives for very shorter time, that is 2 to 5 days, and thus in that period again the adult males and females they mate and facilitating the sexual reproduction, and after which the female beetle lays a single egg in the loose bark or in the crack or crevice of the mango tree, where it undergoes embryonic development within a period of 14 to 17 days and will then hatch out into a larva called as a grub. This grub then penetrates because the grub is having strong mandibles. So with the help of strong mandibles, it can prepare a tunnel or the burrow in even in the woody tissue or the hard tissues of the stem of the mango plant and thus penetrates inside. So in a initial phase, it rotates just inside of the bark of the tree, and then it enters into the hard or woody tissues and preparing burrow in the mango shoot. So after the period of about 6 months, the total woody tissue or the meristematic tissue or the whatever the plant tissues which are present or the material present inside that is consumed, and after that the entire plant of the mango tree or a particular branch will dies. So the duration of the life cycle of the mango stem borer is 1 year or it may extend up to 2 years. Then nature of damage. The grubs or a larva or grubs of the mango stem borer make zigzag galleries or the burrows or tunnels beneath the bark and tunnel into the trunks or the main stems. As a result as a result of feeding on the internal tissues of the attacked branches and the stem die and wither away. Sometimes a frass and masses of refuse or exude may be seen on the opening of the bored holes. In severe case of attack, the branches may collapse and the tree may die. Then control measures. The population of the grubs and the pupae of the stem borer mango stem borer can be reduced by cutting and destroying the infested branches. Population of grubs and pupae of the mango stem borer can be reduced or destroyed by cutting and destroying the infested branches. The best way the best way to control the grubs or the larva of the mango stem borer is to just inject the borer solution. That borer solution, the composition of the borer solution, that is two parts of the carbon disulfide, two part of carbon disulfide and one part of the chloroform and cresol. So these three chemicals will form a borer solution, that is two part of carbon disulfide and one part of the chloroform and cresol will make a borer solution, and which can be injected into the tunnels or the burrows of the grubs and pupae which are present inside the trunk of the mango tree. So the best way is to control the grubs is to just inject the boron solution in the holes or the burrows, and after which it should be closed by mud. Then pest population can also be effectively reduced. The pest population can also be effectively reduced by injecting 0.05% spray fluid of the following into the borer holes. So the pest population can also be controlled by using or by injecting 0.05% spray fluid of the following insecticides or pesticides into the burrows or the holes on the shoot or the branches or the stem of the mango. So these insecticides are DDVP, commonly called as dichlorohos, 76 effective concentration. So 0.7 ml of DDVP or dichlorohos per liter of water can be used as a spray fluid and can be injected into a burrows or the tunnels of the mango stem borer in the stem or shoot of the mango plant. Then endosulfan or thiodon 35 effective concentration 1.5 ml per liter of water, and chlorpyrifos darshan 20 effective concentration 2.5 ml per liter of water. So these are the various concentrations of these insecticides per liter of water, and this can be used as a spray fluid but are not sprayed on the plant but are injected into the burrows or the tunnels of the mango stem borer onto the into the mango plant or the mango trunk, and immediately after insecticidal treatment the holes must be sealed or closed with a mud. So this is about the control measures of the mango stem borer. So with this today we'll stop here, and next time we'll explain the next crop pest, that is blister beetle. So till then, bye. Thank you.